we were talking about this earlier, and there's some questions we have about Bears before we get into this. I'm not talking about Chicago. I'm not talking about Mercer. All right. You said that if a bear stands up, are the front legs now his arms? Yes. Right? Right?
If a bear stands up.
Stands up.
If this helps you with your hand, then if he does, Dave.
If he handstands.
If he does this, if he's here.
And they grab things.
All right.
So hold on. What if he handstands? Are his back legs now his arms?
Only if he grabs things with them. Like, you've seen bears, like, stand up and grab stuff and, like, even open doors. Yeah. I mean, hell, they tricked Goldilocks into coming in and eating the porridge.
Let's be honest. It would be more terrifying than being up in a tree. Next thing you know, it stands up and starts grabbing limbs. And he's like, hey, I'll be up there in a second.
That's exactly
the worst. It's the worst.
Also, what's Goldilocks thinking? Just coming in and eating people's food.
Like what?
Man, like, you talking about get off my lawn? What are you doing?
No, you've been met with a shotgun at the door, and you need
it's a basic B&E.
It's a
break it in.
It was B&E situation.
It's a true B&E.
Got off scot-free too.
That last portion
in this economy.
Yeah. What was the one about the socks?
The one but I want to get past this though. I think you got to call them hands. But therefore, if we do that, when a dog stands up, which we've seen, mine will stand up. You see the dogs that hop around like this. Are those now the dog's hands? Because I feel like if you're going to say they're the bear's hands, you got to say they're the dog's hands.
Well, I don't know.
A dog can't grab anything.
Right? It's different when a bear stands up and next thing you know, he grabs the doorknob and turns it.
That's exactly right.
The dog's not going to do that.
That's a good point.
So
I think you can declare them as hands as long as they're grabbing something. Like, for example, if they would use my soccer idea and we take all the most talented, 4 to 6-year-olds to some tiny Italian town with their parents' permission, they can come too, and they just have to use their feet for the next 10 years, can't use their hands. We'll win the World Cup for a shot. But if they're using their feet to grab things, those are technically their hands, right?
Well, and the bear, so if he stands up, are those his arms? But does the bear have a right to bear arms?
I believe he does.
Another question.
It's America, Dave.
Which bear is best?
It's in the jungle constitution. I think Baloo made that. I think Baloo did that. The Washington Commanders defeat the Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. The new search for a head coach at Auburn is heating up, and our buddy Big Game Boomer is going to join us, and we're going to break down the 5 biggest upsets so far this college football season. I'm Jake Crane. It's Tuesday. We're almost halfway there, and this is Crane & Company. With all the Lane Kiffin to Auburn talk recently, many people have been asking and debating if Auburn is a better job than Ole Miss or vice versa. Now, obviously, if you're a fan of either school, the majority of those will say that their school's better, and that's understandable. But if you look at the factors, unbiased, that determines which job is better, the answer is pretty clear when the numbers come in. Now, before we dive into this, I want to say that both are great jobs. Ole Miss is a fantastic job, and just because one job is better than the other doesn't mean the runner-up is a quote-unquote bad job. After all, 2 things can be true at once. But here are some numbers for you to chew on. Since the formulation of divisions in the SEC, that was in 1992, Auburn has won 3 SEC championships outright while appearing in the SEC championship game 6 different times. Ole Miss has never won the West 1 time. Their last SEC championship game came in 1963. In that same span of time, Auburn has won a national championship and appeared in another. Ole Miss has never finished number 1 in the AP, and their only NCAA-recognized national championship was shared with Minnesota in 1960. So when it comes down to winning rings and those opportunities, the numbers are pretty slanted to Auburn. When it comes to resources, you got to go to Auburn here as well. They just opened a brand new state-of-the-art football facility. Vaught-Hemingway Stadium in Oxford is beautiful. It has a great tradition. It's been around forever, and it seats just over 64,000. Compare that to Auburn's Jordan-Hare, which is a top 10 stadium in the country when you come to attendance with almost 88,000 seats. When it comes down to paying coaches, Auburn is very far ahead there over time and in aggregate. And they're also much bigger when it comes to banking in the NIL fundraising. Now, look, Auburn has its problems. It has a booster problem. It reared its ugly head this past offseason, and it does that sometimes. But those same boosters were there in 2010 and 2013 and 2017. So you have to take the good with the bad. Now, will Lane Kiffin end up at Auburn? Nobody really knows. And it smells like a Jimmy Sexton special. I mean, this is his split zone. But when it comes down to the factors that determine which job overall is better, Auburn, by the numbers, is the clear-cut winner. Ole Miss is a fantastic place, and it is a great place to coach. But Meek Mill said it best. There are levels to it. I'm going to bring in my co-host, David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback, my brother, former Western State Colorado wide receiver, rocking a mustache that would make Tom Selleck try and sell you a regular mortgage. Guys, look, people will say, oh, Jake, you're from Auburn. Obviously, you're going to be biased to here, but like I'm looking at those numbers, Cone, like, I mean, at the end of the day, women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie.
Yeah, as someone with no affiliation, no direct affiliation with either school, I think both are top-tier programs, man. I would be honored to be a head coach at either program.
Same here.
I think with the recent championship pedigree that you outlined for Auburn, the advantage has to go there in that category. Also, the proximity to Atlanta and to Florida.
Auburn's a suburb of Atlanta. That's really what it is.
No doubt.
Bruce Pearl in the basketball team.
It really is. It really is. I had a lot of teammates growing up who, just from that side of the state, and the proximity to Atlanta, and not only that, but also to Florida, just for recruiting, making up 50% of the Iron Bowl, one of the greatest rivalries in sports, even though I think the Egg Bowl certainly is one of the great traditions of college football. So all things being equal, I would lean towards the Auburn job in this scenario, but as it relates to Lane Kiffin, all things aren't equal. And this is something that I've been thinking. All things aren't equal because he's already at one of the spots. He's already in Oxford, and he has an opportunity to win back-to-back 10-game seasons here. So that's why I don't know. It's not a lateral move to me if Lane Kiffin were to leave Ole Miss for Auburn, but it also doesn't feel like a no-brainer, have to take this
I agree with that 100%. I think there's a happy medium. I will say when it comes to the back-to-back 10-win seasons, so you're doing the best that anybody's really done at Ole Miss. I know Hugh Freeze had them number one, but you've won back-to-back 10-win seasons. You have no SEC West Division championships. You haven't beat Alabama. You haven't beat Georgia. I mean, at the end of the day, is there a ceiling at Ole Miss? Like, I think there is. I think this is the ceiling. Now, that's not to say once out of every 4 or 5 years you could win the West and make a run, but you just haven't done it. I haven't seen it. I don't know how much higher you can go if you're Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss consistently across the board. That's my question. Blaine, what do you think?
I think it's close. I think it's really close. It's almost kind of Spider-Man GIFs, let's point at each other. Auburn's had more success lately when it comes to the rings, championships, but Ole Miss has been there, and Ole Miss has a great year. I feel like Ole Miss has almost gotten more popular the last 5 or 6 years. You saw what Hugh Freeze did. I mean, you beat Bama twice. You beat him with Bo Wallace, Chad Kelly. Both those were good wins. But it's close. I just think Auburn's a little bit more fanatic when it comes, like, the fans. Like, you go down to Auburn, and both places are great, but you go to Auburn, the air's a little bit different than Ole Miss. The level of, like, Auburn fans in that town want to win so bad, we are willing to pay the right guy we'll give the world to. We'll try to get the, like, Lane, if Lane Kiffin becomes the new head coach at Auburn, he'll be one of the top 3-5 paid college coaches in college right now.
Yeah, now if we're sitting here talking about baseball, I would tell you, while Auburn does have a really good baseball program, Ole Miss is a better place to be a head baseball coach because they're more fanatic about baseball than Auburn is. Now, when it comes to basketball, I think you'd pick Auburn too. But I think if we're separating it by football, and I think there's a lot of Ole Miss fans that would agree at the end of the day because it's not a huge difference or a unbelievably wide gap. I think Blaine brings up a good point as well. It's an interesting argument, and I love what you said about this isn't a no-brainer for Lane Kiffin. I agree with you 100%. It's after being in it and understanding how this works, this is such a Jimmy Sexton play for Lane Kiffin, and it's smart. It's brilliant. You have all the leverage right now. Like you said, back-to-back 10-win seasons.
Yep.
All right, coming off a tough game against Alabama, then all of a sudden, Auburn rumors start up. What happens when that happens? Boosters start calling the AD, hey, what do we need to do to keep Lane? What do I need to give? You start getting calls from everywhere saying, what do we have to do? Which is great for Lane. You're in a win-win. You either go make a ton of money here, more money than you're making at a place with a little bit bigger ceiling, or you stay where you're at, make even more money that you were making, and keep doing what you're doing. It is the perfect play for not only Lane, but for Jimmy Sexton. This is how it happens. I do not think it is a coincidence that all of a sudden, the minute after the Alabama loss, you started hearing all this stuff.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a no-brainer move to go from Ole Miss to Auburn for any head coach, but especially Lane Kiffin. Think about this. He's already coached at Tennessee. He's coached at Southern Cal. He's coached in the NFL. He's been able to have success at Ole Miss and sort of revitalize his brand, right, which was kind of struggling when he left Alabama as the OC there. He's been able to revitalize his brand there and win 10 games a year without the expectations necessarily.
You're a hero forever.
Exactly, in Oxford. One thing, though, I don't think we can overstate is the maximum 4-year contracts in the state of Mississippi.
I do think, though, I was talking with somebody that's associated with the program over there about that last week, and they said there are ways around that to get. And
I would think so.
You know, through, I believe it's, you know, sponsorships and stuff like that. Basically, NIL. I think it's kind of the way to go around it. But it's that is an interesting
or like a contract promise, like I was thinking about this too. Like certainly there has to be a way that's like, hey, technically your contract is X amount of dollars for 4 years,
they'll find a way.
but there's a guarantee yearly renewal. Like there are certainly ways. So I don't know. I'm not in those rooms for those negotiations. But on paper, at the end of the day, that is the state rule, right?
The narrative of this would just be awesome if Lane went to Auburn, right? Just the son that's cast out. The forbidden son who goes to Auburn just to get back at his dad who cast him out at early age. This would be insane. Like, if Lane Kiffin comes to Auburn and it's a long shot, who knows? No one really knows at the end of the day.
I think it's 50-50 right now. I don't think it's a long shot.
Yeah.
You had people freaking out on social media yesterday.
Well, you know, I'm going to have a little birdie.
Oh, wow.
Little birdie.
Whoa.
We'll see. Well, I can't give away too much information.
Okay.
But it'd be really fun to watch.
It would be fun to watch. It'd just be another crazy narrative in the story of the SEC. But we're talking about money, upgrades, new green in the bank. Speaking about greens, let's talk for a second about athletic greens, and we're going to get to the Booster Club. We've talked about this a ton on this show. When you look at this product, it's something that you just put in a scoop of water. It's great for your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, recovery, focus, aging, energy, all things that I need to keep getting better at. Okay, obviously, the older I get, the more tired I am. Excited, but also tired. You can reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. Just like I said, that's it. It's unbelievably easy, and Athletic Greens has a hell of a deal for you. They're going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs for your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Crane and Company. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Crane and Company to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. I take it every day. You take it every day. You take it every day. I think you were the first one to start taking it.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and boast, but yeah.
Trendsetter.
That's why you're so jacked up right now.
Just jacked today.
You're jacked.
Did I put this on? I mean,
will you flex and bust out real quick?
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, and I think that helps out mustaches too, is what the rumors are.
Really?
Well, I mean,
wow.
I'm super based.
Super based.
I don't know if anybody knows.
Unbelievable. All right.
You getting tired? You okay over there?
Huh?
Said you were getting tired.
No, just, I mean, you know.
Tired of your shenanigans.
Yeah,
you wake up.
Tired of your shenanigans. What's the Booster Club?
All right, let's go to Rex. He says, if you hire Lane, you know what you will get. Lane will jump to the NFL at some point. I do not believe he'll jump to another college team if he ends up with the Auburn job. People don't leave Auburn.
Look, I mean, I think, again, you can say the same thing for a decent amount of coaches. Do I think Lane wants to get back in the NFL? I kind of go back and forth. It was so sour with the Raiders. Nothing's changed. I would not be shocked by anything Lane Kiffin does. I think you just have to remember, at the end of the day, this guy is going to do what he wants to do. And he's a little bit different in the way he goes about things. He's different in the way he approaches social media. So to me, it's a risk, but everything is a risk at this point, and you need to make a big splash hire. You really need.
That's such a good point, because he is a wild card, right?
That's
what Lane Kiffin has been known for, being a wild card. Is that what would be best for Auburn right now? You made the point that Brian Kelly was the stepdad LSU needed but didn't know they needed, and now look how that's working out because he provided stability. Is that what Auburn needs more than a wild card head coach right now, who is very gifted on the offensive side of the ball schematically?
Yeah, I think it just, again, that you get what the market bears. The Brian Kelly type, the CEO archetype, I'm looking around at who would fit in that same mold that would be available right now. And I'm not seeing, obviously the cycle changes and the coaches you can get at certain times change. I'm not seeing that type guy out there right now. I mean, who would be that that stepdad type role of clean your room, get this in order, stop embarrassing me.
I wonder who
whatever.
could go be plucked. Because last year we would have said the same thing about Brian Kelly. Winningest coach in Notre Dame history,
True.
he's going to retire
That's
there.
true.
No way he's going to leave for any job, especially not like LSU.
And guys like Dave Aranda, I still need time to see it. You still need time to see it. Dan Lanning, I still need time to see it. There's some, I mean, that you have to continue to go through it. I look at it in 3-year cycles because recruiting is 3-year cycles to see what you can do. So that's a good point. I'm interested to see, kind of the way the field plays, and could it be a huge surprise? I don't really want to call Urban Meyer the stepdad you always, that's going to come in there and tell you to clean his room. He's probably the stepdad that's going to slip you a beer when mom leaves.
Urban Meyer?
Yeah, 100%.
There's all sorts of stuff. Kirk Ferentz, I think, is the winningest coach in Iowa history played.
Don't look me in the eyes and say that.
So,
Don't look me in the eyes and say
maybe
that.
you guys could.
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you? In a time like this.
Look, it's Tuesday,
Throw that
man.
out.
We got to get it fired up on a Tuesday.
If you're a Bama and Michigan fan, must be tough to get up in the morning, Dave.
Look,
Must
I'm
be
married
tough.
into half of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
He did. I've got
Michigan's success is only recent. All right, don't worry. We play Illinois this weekend.
Yeah,
don't
tough,
ever.
tough one. All right, let's go to Travis Elrod. Hashtag Ask Crane & Company. Would you rather be a legendary coach at a Group of 5 school or a decent coach at a perennial powerhouse? God, I said perennial, right?
I want to be legendary at Group of 5 because then I can go to Power 5 as a legendary coach.
Yeah, you can always go be
I'm
average.
legendary there, so that's my answer.
I don't think that was an option.
You know what? Give me the Power 5. I gotta know.
Cone?
I like Jake's first answer.
Okay.
Be legendary
You probably
first.
didn't listen to the question.
Cone's like, I'll be Eric Russell.
What are you talking about?
Let's go to Sean Pennison. What's up, Sean? Hashtag Ask Crane & Company. If Prime doesn't go to Auburn, where does he go? Georgia Tech, maybe? Well, if Prime doesn't go to Auburn, I don't see him.
I don't think Prime would leave Jackson State for any place other than Florida State.
I agree. Why would he go to Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
I know they're Atlanta ties. I know, like,
You got to
that's
take
been
5
getting a lot of
calculus classes.
buzz.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of buzz. I don't know, man. It doesn't look like Florida State's going to open up anytime soon, like we thought.
No, Mike Norvell, they're doing
But
well. Jordan Travis has
Still,
made a big jump.
You don't know, a couple more seasons.
Well, if they fall off a cliff next year and go 5-7 or something, you never know what's going to happen because they did just build that new facility there. Speaking about new facilities, so it's going to be interesting to see that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Remember, if you donate, that question gets asked first. Go ahead, B.
Let's go to Brian Bailey. What's up, Brian? He says, Lane is going to Nebraska. He was born there and his dad coached there. Their writing's on their wall. I'm kidding, but seriously.
Yeah. Look, would anything shock me with Lane? No. We've seen hey, I'm going to show you my right hand and go to my left hand. We've seen that move before. I don't see it. I think Nebraska, it's just a tough situation right now. That is a bigger overhaul than I think it is going to some of these other places, just proximity-wise. Not that Nebraska will never be good again. You talk about state-of-the-art facilities. They're all in there. They always have been. I would be very surprised if that happened, though.
Let's go to Colleen Houston. Brought up Brian Kelly, so obviously he said Colleen Houston said, that's funny because Brian Kelly was like the deadbeat dad who left to go get milk and never came back to Notre Dame.
But how long has Notre Dame been? How long has he been at Notre Dame though? I mean, he watched you grow up. I mean, you're out of the house.
Yeah, it's
now.
like the kids grew up.
Yeah, the kids grew up. Like they stay together. It's like the parents that don't get divorced until the kids graduate high school. Like it's just the same situation. Like you just look. Let's get out there. You're out into the world. I did my job. You made it to 18. You graduated high school. You made it to college. The rest is on you, bud. The rest is on you. Daddy's going to Florida.
I'm going to Baton Rouge, baby.
Dad's going down to Florida. I got a condo at Orange Beach. That 401k came through.
All right, let's go to Texas Ed. Says, Blaine, did you close a deal with the Vandy people for the Booster Club support? We're getting something written up right now.
The Vandy people?
Yeah, so we're getting a contract.
You're closing deals with Vanderbilt people? That's pretty sweet.
Well, yeah, they know we've had their back this entire year. Huge win over Kentucky.
Yeah, we have had their back.
I'm waiting on Clark Lee to call me, maybe give a pregame speech.
I'd love that.
So I mean, we'll see where that goes. But
I'd love for us to go do that. That'd be great
if we all gave a pregame speech.
Y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sure Vandy will find like one clip of me saying something about that and then put it on Twitter.
Like the Yankees did?
Yeah. Like
Oh, you're talking about like the Yankees?
treasonous devils.
Did they ever apologize to you?
No, they didn't because they're cowards and probably short. At least that's not me. All right, Nate Yancer, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. What will the line open in the Big Ten Championship with Ohio versus Michigan or versus any other teams in the West? I'm pretty sure the Ohio versus Michigan spread.
Ohio State.
Ohio State versus Michigan. Yeah, why did I?
That wouldn't be the Big Ten championship.
No, but I'm saying right now, he's asking what the spread would be for that game. So right now, I think Michigan's an 8.5-point dog.
8.5 is what it is?
It's on the road.
8.5 right now?
I like that. I like Michigan.
That's a lot. I was thinking 3.5.
I think neutral site.
I was thinking they were going to.
That's my whole point. 8.5 would make more sense on a neutral site. Put the Buckeyes indoors, perfect weather. Like, this game's going to be in the elements. That's why I like Michigan to go on the road.
If it was a neutral site, I think it'd be at 3.5 or 4.5. It would be.
That's so fascinating because I would think the opposite, to get those Buckeyes wide receiver.
All right, one more and we'll get to NFL quick hitch.
Let's go to Travis. Who was it? Had a great question. All right, Mike RFF Lifestyle, hashtag Ask Credit Company. Mount Rushmores of college coaches all time. Who y'all got?
So it's at 4?
Yeah.
I'd say John Wooden. I'd say Nick Saban.
Oh, we're doing all sports?
Said college coaches.
Do football.
Nick Saban.
Bear Bryant.
I would say, you almost feel like you got to put Joe Paterno up there, right? Even though all the crazy stuff that happened there.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, when it comes down to it, I think you got to go Joe Pa.
Mm-hmm.
I would Bobby Bowden would be in the conversation.
Bobby Bowden would be in the conversation.
Maybe Woody Hayes.
That's a tough one. Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler. Yeah. I mean, you can make an argument a lot of different ways. I would definitely, you have to have Nick Saban and Bear Bryant up there. I do know that. Both with which coach at the same school. All right, let's get an NFL quick hitch, Coney.
Let's do it. All right, look. Commanders defeated the Eagles last night. The 1972 Miami Dolphins are popping champagne. Still the only undefeated team in league history. I think we even have a clip here of the end. Our boy Brandon Graham, the penalty late at the end of the game.
This is tough. Unnecessary roughness. 26-21 Commanders. Eagles is 3rd down and 7. You're looking to get the ball back. Let's go ahead and run the clip.
Be able to come in on the road and have a game like this tonight if they're able to close it out.
Heineke's basically just bailing on it. Doesn't want to turn it over. Wants to run the clock. Basically takes a knee. I don't like that call.
It's a tough one.
I don't like that call. It happens so fast. Now, technically, he is taking a knee. He is defenseless. But in the NFL, you've got to touch somebody for them to be down. Like, this is... You look at the momentum. It's not like he went in there head first. He just came in his arms and barely pushed him. I feel like the referee's right here. You got to let the players decide the game. Washington's punching way above their weight. This game was shocking to me from the amount of points from the jump that was scored. I mean, it felt like it was 14-10 at the end of the first quarter. It seemed like the Eagles secondary was just getting toasted like a bagel, man. It was really interesting to watch Taylor Heineke kind of continue to elevate himself as a legitimate NFL quarterback in spots. And if I'm the Commanders and I'm Ron Rivera, I'm looking at Carson Wentz like, the more I scratch my eyes and look, Carson Wentz is starting to look more like Sam Darnold to me. Like, you're just probably going to be a lifelong backup.
Man, this is such a terrible call.
It's so bad.
You think so? It's terrible?
It's such a terrible call. Because one, you could tell BG was thinking, well, you have to be touched.
Yeah.
You could tell he's thinking that, right? And he even go in there super fast.
And like this.
He went in there with 2 hands. Like, it gets to a point, if it's not egregious, and that wasn't egregious, and that stage of the game, all right, keep your flag in your pocket.
Yeah. I'd rather
keep your
see
flag, because you're dictating games, man, over little petty stuff. And this is what referees. I understand you have to call everything the same, but sometimes in certain circumstances, it gets a little bit different, especially late like that. If this was early in the first quarter, second quarter, I get it. I can understand it. It would make sense to me, but a minute 45 left to go in the fourth, you get one more first down, and he didn't do that on purpose, and it wasn't bad. I'm not throwing that flag.
See, I agree with you that it was egregious, and I don't want to get too caught in the weeds on this, but I disagree the fact that you should call it different in the first quarter than you do in the fourth quarter. The game, to me, that opens up the air for you to be able to
subjectivity.
The game to change. We hear this problem in college basketball all the time. We hear college basketball coaches complain about it all the time. You guys call every game differently. You call every game differently. It needs to be that flag should have been kept in your pocket, whether it's the first quarter or whether it's the fourth quarter. I do not think.
It's a judgment call.
It's a judgment call. It's a judgment call, but again, I don't think the scenario should dictate the judgment. Your judgment should dictate the judgment, and it should be that way throughout the whole thing.
If it's iffy, right? If it's an iffy call, if you're not 100% on either side of
keep
what
the flag in your pocket.
Keep the flag at that time in the game
and in the first quarter.
Like, even like at that time, if there's any time, that you should do it. It's that situation in the game. It's an iffy call. You do not know 100%. You don't throw that flag.
Yeah,
I'd rather see a no call there. But to me, I don't look at it. I'm like, man, this is a terrible call, and like this is the worst call in NFL history. The quarterback did give himself up, but I would rather see him keep the flag in the pocket.
Yeah, let the players play, man. That's what the people came to see.
All right, Deshaun Watson's going to start practicing tomorrow for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Jacoby Brissett, because, he started off really well and it was looking good. And we all know the amount of money that they're paying Deshaun Watson, regardless of, he's had more happy endings than Disney movies. But when you look at this situation, when you pay that man that amount of money, he's got to play. He's got to play. It's just the truth. It's part of the business. And I know he's been, working out and doing those things. He's had to be kind of separate from the team. Now he is fully, ingrained in the team. And it's going to be interesting to see how it works with Jacoby Brissett. Listen to the Browns talk. They said he's going to, it's not going to affect his preparation. But in the back of my mind, if I'm Jacoby Brissett, it's something that you knew it was coming a little bit. And he knows how business works. You know how.
Well, Jacoby Brissett's a backup quarterback.
He's a backup quarterback.
That's who he is. And I mean, you're at a great spot for it. You've proved enough, right? You've had a good year. You've been banged up. One thing I'll say about Jacoby Brissett, man, throughout his career, this guy's been just banged up and always played. Just an absolute grinder.
He's tough.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
He's tough.
But he's an absolute grinder. But Deshaun Watson's back, guys. This weirdo's back on the field.
Yeah. Just don't let him and Josh Primo hang out together.
What do you have to do to get suspended from the NFL? What do you have to do? Like what's serial killer? Like, look, you're a serial killer.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You're out for 3 seasons, but we'll let Deshaun Watson back in here. But hey, the Browns need it. He scored 3 points against the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's they need a spark.
Yep. All right, now Baker Mayfield looks like he's going to fill in and start for the Panthers again when P.J. Walker went down. What's going on here in Carolina?
Look, and it's funny, the Panthers are still in it in the NFC South. I mean, the Bucs are leading the division at 5-5.
Sad.
I mean, it's sad. It really is. P.J. has a high ankle, which just sucks. Those are the worst. Baker's going to come in. Sam Darnold, guys. You remember?
Was he still on the team?
Yeah. He's the backup. He's the backup.
I remember when he came out of college, everyone just freaking out.
Oh, yeah.
Him
and Matt Barkley, man. Both coming from USC. Yeah. That's that overblown USC quarterback disease. The only person who has it worse is Ohio State.
Baker, I don't think Baker should have ever gotten taken out, to be honest. But this is Panthers coaching for you. I mean, this is Panthers coaching. Matt Rule already fired. It's a disaster over there at the Panthers.
Speaking of that, I watched.
And you're still in the running.
Baker came in a couple of weeks ago and looked pretty good.
No, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, now they were. I mean, I think it was like
it was garbage time.
55 to.
No, it was against the Bengals. The Bengals were up 35-3 at halftime.
Yeah. They came in as
that's when Joe Mixon had like 11 touchdowns.
On the cheerleaders.
Yeah,
they put the cheerleaders in the secondary.
Man, did you guys see Derek Carr's post-game press conference?
We have a clip
loss
of that.
to the Colts. Yeah, let's play this.
Let's play this real quick.
I'm sorry.
Derek, sorry, continue.
To finish that, sorry for being emotional. I'm just pissed off.
Look, I'm all for being pissed off for greatness.
Oh, I couldn't hear that.
Okay, I'm all for being pissed off for greatness. And I like that he cares.
Yes.
Okay, let me preface this. I like that he cares. I'd much rather my guys care than not care. But you just signed a 3-year, $120 million contract. I don't want your tears. You know what I want? If I'm a Raiders fan, I want touchdown passes.
Sure.
I want you and Devontae Adams to figure it out.
I get that.
I know that Waller's been hurt. I know that Haru, the great white ninja, Hunter Renfrow, has been hurt as well. You're super duper rich. If I was that rich, there'd only be a couple things that could make me cry, okay? And not playing well, while I would be upset, while there would be some expletives tossed around in the locker room, players only meeting, all right? I'm getting up there and crying. I just don't buy that he was really crying either. Like, I felt like that wasn't a real
You're
cry.
not buying it either?
He's like, listen, well, what he's thinking. They're paying me $120 million. We're supposed to be really good. I tell you what I ought to do. What would Russell Wilson do? He'd cry.
And Russell Wilson saying, what would other NFL quarterbacks
That's exactly right.
But look, one of the criticisms of the NFL is once these guys make $120 million, they don't care anymore. That's why we love college football, right? So I don't want to get up here and criticize a guy when he did sign for that much money for showing some emotion and wanting to play.
Yeah, I want you to care.
I do also
you feel
understand.
the same way about Terrell Owens when he got up there and cried?
When he was like, "That's my quarterback."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
But for me, it's funny. I wish I had this show.
That's an aggressive
there.
question. That was an aggressive question.
Look, no questions. No questions off limits.
No,
this is hardball. We're playing hardball here.
Where were you?
It's funny when he points out the reporter who asked him, "Is this Devontae Adams?"
But were you legitimately asking a question?
Why are you playing so bad?
Were you legitimately asking because you wanted to know my answer, or were you insinuating that I would make fun of Terrell Owens?
No, legitimately.
Blaine
I want to see more emotion from the guy. I want him to care in the NFL.
Blaine said Derek Carr's like, yeah, we got a question in the reporter's Devontae Adams with a mustache. He's like, why are you playing so bad?
You're not throwing Devontae the ball enough. Josh McDaniels.
We heard you're not throwing Devontae the ball.
And then he moves over to another seat.
Another
Like,
one, yeah.
I have another one.
No, he just takes the mustache off. Like Devontae Adams just takes the mustache off and walks up. Like, hey guys.
And
Derek Carr, weirdo.
Yeah. Like, y'all see him crying? Oh, he weeps like a maiden.
Yeah, like literally, like I just don't understand. Like nothing, like, and I understand you care and it's great, but nothing would upset me.
Yeah, all right.
I'm making how much?
Yeah, so we got Big Game Boomer coming on, but I do want to say this. The Bills had 12 players. This is unacceptable. The Bills had 12 players in overtime against the Vikings on defense when they stopped Dalvin Cook. I think it was second goal, somewhere around there. They had 12 players on the field. That is unacceptable. If you miss a call that it's a bang-bang catch or drop on the sideline, or if you may have missed a holding, or somebody clipped a face mask and you didn't see it, I understand that. But if you can't count to 12 in a game that's big, somebody should be fired for that. And I hate calling for people's jobs, but somebody should be fired for that. That is egregious. Yeah. That is absolutely egregious. And no, there will be no accountability. Nobody, again, referees and politicians, the two jobs where there's no accountability. It's the greatest gig in the world.
Not get flagged?
And they all make it. No.
Well, especially at the end of the game, it's bad. In the first quarter, if you want to let them play with 15.
Yeah, according to Blaine, you can play with 33 players.
That's
not a judgment call.
In the first quarter, it's fine. But at the end of the game, you cannot do that.
Can you not count to 12, Dave? Can we not count players? I don't think that's a judgment call. There's 12 people out here. You can't do that.
It's really an.
You know what else is unacceptable? Right? Fumbling on the one.
Yeah, but that doesn't. That's
unacceptable. Let's say NFL, Josh Allen, MVP. We can't get a snap. We can't get a snap when it matters. MVP. Unacceptable. You're fired, Josh.
That mustache just has done something.
We can't get a QB. We can't get the snap. I'd be over the sidelines like, Josh, you blew it.
Yeah.
You blew. What do you mean, Josh? Look at the board. It says you blew it. Pay cut. We're cutting your pay. You can't get a QB. You can't.
You're out here trying to punch the ball out with guys down on the ground with your elbow.
You're just sneaking it, Josh. God, call your dad.
The funny thing is,
Josh Allen reminds me of the guy with Mr. Deeds. He's in there cussing all the time, and Mr. Deeds has to hit in the face. Mr. Deeds
That's not Josh Allen. Did you see him in the post-game press conference, man? That guy in that movie.
Funny. No, like his dad, he calls his dad. His dad's like, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Josh Allen will never fumble
the quarterback
ever again.
The quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback and Mr. Deeds.
He called his dad. He'll never fumble.
You know who that guy is? He's the same guy in Dodgeball. He's like Blaze, Laser, Taser.
He is in that.
Yeah,
he is in that.
He works at Globo Gym.
That's exactly right. That's so good. Speaking about a guy that works at Globo Gym, our buddy Big Game Boomer, the list extraordinaire, rocking the Syracuse hat. Boom, what's up, man?
What's happening, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good. The season continues to just fly on by. And, when we were talking yesterday, we were like, we've done, the 5 most overrated. We've done our power rankings. We wanted to do a list that maybe was a little bit different than one that we've done. So we did our 5 biggest upsets in order. And we see your list up there. Go ahead and go through your top 5 upsets in college football of 2022.
Yep. So I guess I'll just start from 5. So, I mean, at the week 2 when this game happened, I mean, everyone was like, oh, wow, this is a huge upset. But I just included in here just to throw a little shade at A&M just because of how pathetic their season's been. App State beating Texas A&M in College Station. We know Texas A&M is horrible. But still, come on, losing to the Sunbelt team at Kyle Field in front of 100,000 people. Give me a break. That's weak.
Boomer, tell me how you really feel about A&M, though. How do you really feel?
I mean, they're like overrated every year, like they always are. They'll get a top 5 recruiting class this year, and all the media experts will be saying that they're back again and in the top 10. And sometimes stars don't matter. We got to realize that.
Go ahead. Number 4.
Number 4, I've got Texas Tech knocking off Texas in Lubbock. Now, this Texas, kind of the same boat as Texas A&M, but that was the first win for Texas Tech against Texas in Lubbock since the Crabtree catch.
Wow,
so that was back in like 2008.
God, that was a hell of a game too.
Yeah, that was a great game. Yeah, long time ago. So big upset there. This weekend we had a couple big upsets. So I've got 3. Vanderbilt going in to Lexington and beating Kentucky.
Clark Lee
knocking off the 26-game SEC losing streak. I mean, Clark Lee, give it up to him. I mean, Kentucky, Will Levis, I'm sorry, he's not a first-round draft pick. I don't know what they were seeing in him, but, man, Kentucky's bad. Number 2, I've got Arizona this weekend as well. If you stayed up, I was in Syracuse. I stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning watching this game, but 4-6, Arizona knocking off UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Huge upset. No one saw that coming, and really kind of Pac-12 is kind of cannibalizing itself. It's really up to USC now to win out and to make it to the college football playoff. And then number 1, this game, Marshall beating Notre Dame week 2 after Notre Dame played a tough game against Ohio State. To lose that game to Marshall was simply inexcusable. I think they were like a 20-point favorite in that game, Notre Dame was. But to me, Marshall lost to Bowling Green. It's funny that Marshall was able to knock off Notre Dame. So that's my number 1 upset of the year.
I love that. I love how you threw the Texas Tech-Texas one in there. Let's go ahead and throw ours up there.
Let's see it.
All right, so number 5. So we did our number 1 is the biggest upset, and the way we did it was like snapshots in time. I love how we kind of went different ways philosophically. That's what makes these lists fun. So we went snapshot in time. What was the biggest upset? We started with App State at A&M because of exactly what you said, Boomer. The amount of expectations that were there at A&M with the preseason ranking and the way App State won that game. They lined it up and ran it right at Texas A&M. You talk about dominating time of possession. I knew App State was going to run it. Y'all knew App State was going to run it. Boom, you knew App State was going to run it, and so did A&M, and they couldn't stop it. And App State kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit, too, after game day went there. So the snapshot in time, that was number 1. Number 2 for us was your number 1, Marshall and Notre Dame. You look back on that now with the way Notre Dame's playing and the way Marshall's season has gone, and it just goes to show you how much of an upset that really was. A very interesting game. It's Drew Pine really struggled, including that pick 6 to Stephon Gilmore's little brother for Marshall there as well at the end. Yeah. Then number 3 happened this weekend, Vandy at Kentucky. And
not surprised.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you are. You were surprised.
Again, it's one thing to break a 26-game SEC losing streak. It's another thing to go on the road to a ranked team and in the 26-game SEC losing streak.
Huge win.
Huge for Clark Lee. They're at 4 wins now. I think the over-under, what was it, at 2?
It was 2.5.
2.5. Just absolutely smashed the over total for Vandy. I mean, who knows? Now, you're not going to beat Tennessee. No chance. No chance, Blaine.
There's always just say it, Blaine. I'm gonna Jake Crane and Tim Brando.
There's always.
I want to hear you say it.
There's always. I'll say there's a chance.
Yeah, there's a chance that it could start raining sweet tarts tomorrow. I want to hear you say that Tennessee's going to beat Vanderbilt.
I will say Tennessee's going to beat Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's going to beat Tennessee.
I think Vandy covers the spread.
What's the spread?
Probably 1,000.
Okay, well, good job.
Yeah, well, I'll take that one too.
Of all time. All right, number 4, Boston College. Jeff Hafley and the boys. Blaine, how long was that losing streak?
It was a 25-game 25 ranked opponents.
Yeah, you go on the road to NC State. Now, look, they have Jack the Chambers of no secrets. I can't throw the ball. But the defense of NC State's very, very talented. Then you got the backup coming in for BC, who's out there slinging it like Frank Lucas, man. So they go on the road. get the 1-point dub, score at the end. I think Summerfold's his last name, the kid who threw for like 330, was a hell of a performance by them. And I think it shows you, look, Jeff Hafley's a heck of a football coach. Boston College is not an easy gig. Very excited to see him continue to grow through his career. To me, he's still a rising star in the profession. And then number 5 happened this weekend. Cone, this was yours, so I'm going to let you explain.
Well, look, man, we had Jim Moore on the show right when he took the job, and we thought, UConn was the worst team in college football, Boomer, last season. Liberty just upset Arkansas. We're talking about a Hugh Freeze-led Liberty team. In one season, in one half of an offseason, Jim Moore is able to get a UConn team to beat Liberty and to be bowl eligible.
Unbelievable.
I think it's incredible.
It is incredible. It's one of the biggest turnarounds. I mean, there was a year UConn didn't play 2 years ago, or during the COVID season. They didn't play. Then last year, absolute disaster. You bring Jim Mora Jr. in, who's a guy that does have cachet, but just because you have cachet doesn't mean you're going to go be able to flip UConn very quickly. This is one of the best coaching jobs that I have seen in a long time. And if you're a Connecticut fan, I would make sure of 2 things. I write a thank you letter to Dave Benedict, the AD, telling him thank you for bringing a guy in here that can actually do this. And I would write a letter to Jim Mora Jr. saying, how did you learn magic? Those are the 2 things that I would ask. It's an incredible story UConn is, Boom.
Yeah, Jim Mora is a heck of a football coach. I mean, what that turnaround is absolutely incredible. I mean, they invited me to come up there to check out their facilities last season. I'm going up there. I'm going up the stores, checking it out, see what is going on. What's the secret formula to turn around a UConn team that was horrible last year, and they're winning games and they're looking good. So,
if you're Nebraska, do you reach out to Jim Mora Jr.?
I would. Why not? I mean,
I don't think that'd be a bad fit at all.
You can win anywhere. I mean, Jim Mora, I grew up an Atlanta Falcons fan, and we had season tickets when Jim Mora was the head coach and Vic was there, and man, that was such an exciting time to be a Falcons fan, and so I have a lot of respect for him as a head coach because of the job he did in Atlanta during that Vic era. So he's a great coach
for sure. All right, what's up, Lee? Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Travis Elrod, #AskBGB, says, if you're Lane Kiffin, all right, BGB, you're Lane Kiffin, would you stay at Ole Miss? Or are you going to Auburn?
Yeah, I'd stay at Ole Miss. I mean, unless Auburn's going to pay you $12 million a year, I just don't see
12?
I just don't see why. I don't see why, if you're Lane Kiffin, if you go to that job. I mean, you've got it. I would say you've arguably got it better in Oxford right now. I don't think, just with the boosters and everything that goes on at Auburn, I know there's a lot of Auburn people that listen to this show, and I know they want Lane Kiffin, but if I'm Lane, I stay away. You're doing a great job at Ole Miss. You're exceeding expectations there. Stay there. Be he's become one of the most likable coaches in college football. I mean, do you guys remember when he was at USC, how hated that guy was?
He has
flipped the script. And I like him at Ole Miss. It's fun. They're a good team. They're fun to watch. I don't know. If I had to put money on it, I said he's staying at Ole Miss, and all this talk is just to get him a raise.
Yeah, I mean, look, we see this play run every year. I think it comes down to if you're Lane, because I think if you're looking at it, you're saying, all right, I had Matt Corral in that squad last year, and I still can't beat Bama. And that's what Nick wants. He hadn't beaten, or that's what Lane wants. He hadn't beaten Bama. He hadn't beaten Georgia. How much better does it get for Ole Miss than 2 straight years of 10-2? Now, if he's fine with that, I would stay at Ole Miss. If that's not something that is really, riding up his craw, I would stay at Ole Miss. Keep running the play, having fun, come to the sip and all that. I just wonder, with Lane, as ambitious as I know he is, if he wants to take that next step or not. But again, it's a great situation to be in. You're going to be making more money either way. So it's a great problem to have. It's a high-class problem, as we call it.
All right, BGB, got a question here. Who is your leader right now for the Heisman?
Drake May from UNC.
I'm with you.
I really like what Drake May is doing. I mean, at the start of the season, I mean, I didn't even know, I think I tweeted UNC is going to struggle because, they don't have an identified quarterback. And man, another one of my hot takes that just, went straight to the fire. But I mean, Drake May it's not about his ability to pass because he's a great passer. This guy can also run. I mean, he's got great rushing stats. He can take off and score and
long strider,
outrun linebackers and safeties. So if it was between CJ Stroud and Drake May right now, I feel like those are the two. I would lean towards Drake May. Now we'll see how Stroud does in the Michigan-Ohio State game. If he has a big game there, I think that will give him the tip. But right now, I'm leaning towards Drake May.
I was going to say something too. At the same time that CJ Stroud is going to be playing against Michigan, Drake May is going to be playing the two best defenses that he's faced. Now, I know NC State just lost to Boston College, but he's going to play NC State and Clemson back-to-back because they're already slated to play in the ACC championship. That's what I'm interested to see, is how he handles those two games.
Yeah, the cool part is between those two guys, there are plenty of opportunities left.
Yes.
Like you're talking about North Carolina, looking like it's them and Clemson in a collision course for the ACC championship. Boom, last question before we let you go. Right now, what 4 teams do you think make the college football playoff?
I'm going to say Georgia, Michigan, Tennessee, and man, that 4th spot. Can TCU run the table here and go undefeated?
Keep a Big Ten team out like Ohio State? I mean, I guess I'd lean towards TCU right now because every single week they win, they figure it out. If they're undefeated, I just don't see how you keep them out. Yeah, and Baylor's not looking too hot right now either. That game on the road is looking a little bit more comfortable than it did earlier. But Dave Aranda, a.k.a. One Punch Man, you never know what you're going to get.
I think Texas was certainly looking like the bigger test that TCU got by. So if you have Michigan in the playoff, that means you have them beating the Buckeyes next weekend.
Yeah, I said it a couple weeks ago.
So then how could Blake Corum climb up your Heisman list? Because to me, I don't think Michigan can beat the Buckeyes unless Blake Corum has a big game. And if he does have a big game, then that you were already talking about CJ Stroud. I think that would then catapult him to the top of the Heisman list.
True. I mean, hey, let's if you play for Michigan, Ohio State, the blue blood, you're going to get votes. So if he goes off against Ohio State, which, I mean, Ohio State's defense is improved, but I don't think they're as good as they should be to compete with Michigan. I mean, Michigan just wants to pound the football. And if he has 200 yards, couple touchdowns, I mean, why not put Corum up there? I mean, the guy's been doing it all year. Him and Donovan Edwards have been a great duo. And, I don't see why not. I mean, Corum could definitely be there for sure. He'll definitely be in New York. He'll definitely be in New York.
And it feels like it's about time that somebody other than a quarterback won it. And if any running back was going to win it, you think it would be Blake Corum. Looking at that, and I don't want to get too far ahead. You got a big matchup against Illinois, but to that Ohio State game, if he goes for $135, $150 with a couple scores in that one big time run, maybe that run on 3rd down and 6 in the 4th quarter,
in a 4-minute drill, something like that,
does something like that, and then goes and plays a team from the Big Ten West, whether it be Purdue, whether it be Illinois, whatever, and goes off in that game. I think you may see him, especially if North Carolina slips up, because again, him and CJ Stroud go head to head on who's going to take advantage of that opportunity in that game. So it's going to be fascinating to see. But Big Game Boomer, it's always fun to have you on, my friend. Tell everybody where they can get your content.
Yeah, everybody, just you can follow me at Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Big Game Boomer, all over the place. I was in Syracuse this past weekend, man. Love the town.
How was it?
It was great. It was great. You got to check out Dinosaurs Barbecue if you're there. It's incredible. But the game, oh my God, Florida State that game was over before it started. It was 38-3. Wow, I was impressed by the Seminoles. They're looking good right now.
It's Jordan Travis. We talked about this the other day. Who's made a bigger jump than that guy from last year to this year from a passing efficiency and really dual threat standpoint? But we'll throw these lists on Instagram later together, man. I always appreciate it, my friend.
All right, fellas, y'all take it easy.
Sounds good. All right. Obviously, as we're transitioning here, you want to make your stamp on the game. I want to talk about stamps. All right, this holiday season, trade late nights for silent nights and get started with Stamps.com today. You can sign up at Stamps.com/booster for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a free digital scale. There's no long-term commitments or contracts. You're not locked in forever, but go to Stamps.com/booster. That's BOOSTER. I actually, had a buddy that collected stamps growing up. But obviously it's seasonal excitement. or dread, depending on how you're looking at it. I mean, I guess depends on who you're with. It's not too late to get your holiday mailing and shipping under control with Stamps.com. That's Stamps.com/booster. Make your stamp.
Used them all the time. I was running video production company. I had to be the one sending out accounts payable, accounts receivable, all this stuff.
You're just a do-it-all.
Well, couldn't afford to hire a treasurer.
You're the head treasurer?
Whatever.
Is that who does it? The treasurer?
The controller, the treasurer.
Nice. I'd love to have
CFO.
Like, hey, this is Lance, my treasurer. He has the key to the vault.
He just shows you maps.
He shows you maps.
I swear it's right here. I swear.
Why can't we see it?
He's talking
Why
about
can't we see
treasurer, like finding hidden treasure. Like that. Please, can we go to the Booster Club?
Yeah, let's go to Revco 250. Hey, bud. How we doing? Haven't seen you in here in a while.
Revco's in there?
Revco's in here with a $5 dono for the squad.
Let's do it.
Hit that button that makes noise.
You hit that button.
All right, it says Happy Tuesday, y'all.
Let's get it.
The only morning show I'm able to hop in the chat for the whole show. Predictions for each conference championship game in the NFL.
In the NFL.
Each conference ooh.
Yes.
Man, you're going to have to give me some time to really lay on that one. You know what, Revco? Well, you know what? Why don't we do who we think's going to win every division in the NFL tomorrow? Let's do that for Revco.
Let's do that for Revco.
Let's sit down and look. Speaking of looking at maps,
all right.
I'll sit down and look at the map and figure it out.
Let's go to Steve's Action Figure Frenzy.
Nice.
All right, $5 donation.
Hit
Well
the
done.
button,
Well done.
David
Well done,
Coon.
All right, now he wants to know Mount Rushmore of worst college coaches.
Ooh.
John Copper and who else?
John Copper, Brian Harsin. Brian Harsin. No.
Sure. It might
No
just be-
recency bias
Can
there?
we just combine 4 of them into one?
Yeah, Ron Zook. I put Ron Zook up there.
Really?
The Zooker. I would say Butch Jones. I'm thinking of now look, Butch has had good years at other places. You think about him at Cincinnati. I'm just thinking about hires that went down in flames. Will Muschamp, when it comes to head coaches, wasn't a good situation anywhere.
Ron Zook did recruit Chris Leak, I think, though.
He did. Yeah,
That's
Chris,
a win.
that quarterback room that Florida had with Chris Leak and Tebow and Cam and John Brantley.
Couldn't beat Auburn.
Yeah, that's wild. Tim Tebow or Johnny Manziel never beat Auburn.
Wow.
Wild, right? Well, what's another worst coach? Doug Barfield. That's one. I'll throw him up there. They called him Doug Barfield. Hey, how about I got one?
Is Mike Shula up there?
Mike Price didn't even coach a game in Alabama because he was out at the Exotic Dancing Club. That was an interesting.
All right, Garrett Flores with a $2 donation. Appreciate it, Garrett. He says Tennessee has had a good run. TCU will do better in the college football playoff. Cap.
Interesting.
Cap.
While I disagree, I hope they both make it. I would love to see TCU versus Tennessee.
That'd be a good one.
Let's drop our divisions tomorrow. We're doing our 12-team playoff tomorrow, too.
Yes.
Yes.
Matthew Roberts says predictions for the United States at the World Cup. I'm feeling we make it as far as the first knockout round.
The what? The world what?
We're not doing this.
Is that the soccer?
You know what I said. It's the World Cup. It's soccer. Yeah.
Okay.
I
just couldn't hear what you said.
I believe.
No.
I believe that we will
lose.
I believe that we will win. I believe, dog.
You believe what?
I believe we got a shot.
At it all?
Yes. At it all.
There's a
Call
better
me
chance.
naive.
There's a better chance of Vanderbilt beating Tennessee than the United States has.
Don't ever
winning the World Cup.
disrespect.
Did you see the pride jerseys they're wearing?
Yeah, I saw it.
Pride
I
jerseys?
get part of me. I think if they were doing it anywhere else, they wouldn't do it. But the way Qatar,
Don't you bet against them.
the way Qatar
Don't you bet
handles
against
that
them.
situation, I'm actually with them on this one. I'm with them on
Wear
this.
the American flag. You're representing America.
No, wear the
wear the
why
American
can't you wear
flag.
the American flag and a patch that signifies you don't agree with the way Qatar does? They throw people off buildings for doing that. Like that we can
Then don't go.
we can get behind.
Then don't go.
Then don't play?
Then don't have the World Cup there.
I
Why
agree
is it
with
there?
that. I agree.
Why is
I
it
agree.
there?
I agree with that.
I won't be watching it all.
That's the real problem.
In case you didn't know.
I'll be watching.
0 minutes watched.
I'll be watching.
Let's go to Travis Elrod, hashtag Ask Crane Company.
You're giving Elrod a lot of run today.
Look, you throw questions, they get asked. All right, so at the end of the day, I read from this chat. If
Playing
you're hot in the
favorites over
chat,
there?
you get rewarded.
You playing favorites?
Welcome to
over
the Booster Club. I don't know. I mean,
What's in it for you?
I'll throw my Venmo in there.
What-
Hashtag Ask Crane Company. Jim Harbaugh was on the hot seat before its recent success. Do college coaches deserve more time than they actually get to win?
Well, okay. I think a lot of it depends on the situation. I don't think we can make a blanket statement of everybody deserves this or everybody deserves that. It depends on what you take over. There's a big difference in Jeff Collins going to Georgia Tech to replace a guy that had 12 running backs on scholarship at a place where you got to take 5 calculus classes and the defensive linemen are all 5'10", as opposed to taking over at Alabama for Nick Saban. So my rule is this. The old school rule used to be 3 years. You get 3 years. That's 3 recruiting cycles. By that time, going in to that 4th season, so I guess technically you could say 4 years, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. Now, with the transfer portal, I think it's kind of reduced that a little bit. You can flip a team a lot quicker. Now, again, it depends on the scenario where the place is at that you're taking over. That's what this all comes down to. But I think a good rule of thumb still overall is 3 full years with the transfer portal. I think that's a good rule of thumb.
And what else is going on beyond just the wins and losses? You look at Texas A&M right now, it's not a good situation this season with Jimbo Fisher, but he's sitting on the #1 recruiting class. So he has that in his back pocket in a way that Brian Harsin, say, at Auburn didn't have.
Yeah.
Now on the Jim Harbaugh front, I'm so glad now that I don't get asked every single week if Michigan should keep Jim Harbaugh, because that was my life for several seasons. What you have to understand, that Jim Harbaugh won 10 games 3 of his first 4 seasons. That was great coming out of, I know Brady Hoke coached in between the two, but coming out of the Rich Rodriguez era at Michigan, winning 10 games 3 of your first 4 seasons was huge. The only problem was all the losses kept happening to the biggest rivals, and he wasn't winning in bowl games. But the success that he has here, also, we can't overlook the fact that Urban Meyer's not in Columbus anymore.
That's true.
That was a big, he never beat Urban Meyer.
That's
never beat
true.
Urban Meyer. So look, we'll take the success any way that we can get it if you're a Michigan fan. But I do, at least look, he took care of Michigan State this season, took care of the Buckeyes last season, made the college football playoff, and even still was flirting with the Vikings, taking that head coaching job in the offseason. I do think that Jim Harbaugh is in it for the long run.
On signing day.
I know. It was a bad situation, but it sounds like he sat down with Ward Manuel. He's going to be at Michigan for the long run. I can just have to take him at his word.
And look, I mean, they're having a heck of a year this year. So just what winning does what? Cures everything.
Yeah.
One more.
Speaking of the Vikings, let's go to Conan 60 seconds.
Hey.
Let's talk about Minnesota. As a lifelong fan, they've been lucky with their wins. Well, they have great weapons in Cook and Jefferson, and now the Hawk. They still have a slightly above average QB in Cousins. I've had more faith in the Vikes if it wasn't Cousins.
So we're talking, okay. I didn't know if we're talking Gophers or Vikings.
Well, I think the Vikings need to lean on Dalvin Cook even more. I mean, I'm out there watching the game, and y'all, it's 2nd and 1. I understand run and play action and taking a shot deep, but then on 3rd and 1, you throw it too. Give the ball to Dalvin Cook. You want to help Kirk Cousins out? Give the ball to Dalvin Cook more. Let him spin, and it opens up the play action game and the passing game. I think the Vikings, something's different with them this year. Something's just different. I can't really explain it. I feel like they're just clutch. I feel like the Vikings are clutch. And look, I know they had the big play against the Saints in the Dome to win the game. The Kirk Cousins, Stephon Diggs, I believe, made the catch. I may be wrong on that. But when I look at this Vikings team, man, I just trust them. Let's trust them. They're never out of it. They're never out of it.
That was Case Keenum.
Case Keenum who threw that ball.
It's easy to mix up, though.
Yeah. Okay, hilarious. Case Keenum's probably made more money. When I look at this team, though, man, they just, you come back down against the Bills. You've come back down before. You never say die. You got a quarterback that everybody hates on, that's not the most athletic guy. Something about this Vikings team. I'm starting to kind of fall in love with them a little bit.
Yeah.
I really am. I really am. It's kind of an underdog field with enough talent to be able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson, man, Adam Thielen hadn't had a great year. If he can start to just kind of figure it out a little bit, Hawkinson looks like a good ad, a really good ad. I tell you, man, the Vikings with Cook and Madison back there, they can do some things.
And a defense to match.
I mean, it's who's playing well. Had 2 picks in the last game, including the big one there at the end. So it's going to be very interesting to watch the Vikings. I like them a lot. But speaking about liking a lot, we're going to make our college basketball national champion predictions early in the season. Who wants to go first? I want to go last.
You want to go last?
I want to go last.
I'm going to go and take North Carolina Tar Heels.
They're
ranked #1 right now, so it seems a little bit easy to take them. But you return Caleb Love and Baycott.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we saw it in person last season. We saw it up close in person. Now, Caleb Love was a little bit smaller than we thought, but what he's able to do on the basketball court is just unbelievable. So I'm going to take the North Carolina Tar Heels, and I'm also looking at, obviously, Houston with Kelvin Sampson. I think really is going to make a deep run. And, with Sheboy returning at Kentucky, I'm interested to see, can John Calipari get over that hump that we've talked about these last 6 seasons with not making Final Fours? What is the status of Sheboy right now?
He's been out early in the year. Remember, he had that Arthur Scott McNee surgery. I think they're going to be very, very careful with him. Looking at Kentucky, Xavier Wheeler coming back, a guy that's played a lot of ball, that may not be the best shooter in the world, but he can facilitate. And we know Kentucky stays with so much talent. I think they're going to be cautious with him and smart with him, which they should be, because that dude's cleaned more glass than Windex. It's unbelievable. His instinct, we talk about instincts, his rebounding instincts are out of this world.
I'm also interested to see the ceiling for Indiana with Trace Jackson Davis returning. And then my biggest question mark is Arkansas, because they're going to reload. Okay, they're going to reload.
Coaches
they lost, they lost some of their better players from last season. But I'm looking at this Arkansas team saying, what's the ceiling here?
Does Arkansas still have that 8-foot-tall white guy? Looks like he's from the Adams family.
Yes,
they still have him.
Yeah.
God,
he's every other. He's every other weekend on the island.
No. He said 8 foot. That's 8-footer island. Stay on your own.
He's maybe not an 8-footer.
Stay on your own island.
He's a 7-footer.
Well, you're letting 6-footers on your island.
Yeah,
8-footer island. We don't
can't prove that.
Water it down.
Huh?
Prove it.
I'm the one who hosts people, apparently.
Yeah, you are the guide. So actually, you let him in here. Can we get David arrested?
Hey, would you like my playbook?
Huh?
You would like my playbook? Because I'd like to go ahead.
I'd like to make sure 7-footers are on the island.
I'd like to go ahead and
6'11".
I'll apologize to you.
6'11".
For absolutely nothing.
Is what I'll as low as we'll go. That's as low as we'll go. 6'11".
Then it's not 7-footer island. Look, I'm done with it.
6'11".
What's your pick? What's your pick?
North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you basically bring everybody back. Caleb Love, you got R.J. Davis back, you got Leaky Black back, Baycott, that thing, running the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. But right now, the most complete team in basketball, and then you're only going to get better. You just got to stay healthy throughout the year.
It's fascinating to me to watch early in the season, because we've had some pretty big upsets. We talked about Colorado beating Tennessee. Northwestern State beat TCU last night. I love early college basketball with the upsets. Guys, a team that I loved last year that was injured is Houston. I think Houston and Kelvin Sampson, who, look, Kelvin Sampson has a little bit of a sketchy past with NCAA stuff, which doesn't matter anymore, right? But, man, that guy can coach ball, especially defense. What wins in the tournament is old guards and defense. Houston has that in spades. Marcus Sasser, who was beat up last year, is one of my favorite players to watch. They get in more passing lanes than Jimmy Johnson. Jamal Shed is an absolute monster. Jarris Walker, the freshman right now they got, is a stud, an absolute stud. I think he went for 23 points and 10 boards, something the other night. He's going to be a big-time player. He fits perfectly into what Houston does, and these guys play with unbelievable effort and passion. Unbelievable effort and passion. And it's fun because they're up and down on offense, and defensively they'll lock you down. That's a hell of a combination. It's tough to get ready for. And they've given up 91 points in 2 games. So it's you've already seen it from last year. Very excited to watch Houston. I think they are a team that is going to get a number 1 seed. I think they are going to run into the Final Four. I think they're going to win the national championship, and Kelvin Sampson's finally going to make good on it.
Man, I love that pick.
Yeah, I love their style of basketball. If I was a basketball coach, I would want to play that style of basketball. They're pesky. They give an unbelievable effort. They care about defense, and they got guys that can create, going to the basket, drawing fouls, getting to the line. If they just shoot the 3 decent, they're going to beat people to sleep on a regular basis because they bring it every single night. I mean, I love their style of basketball.
Who else you guys liking right now?
Looking around, you got Gonzaga. To me, I like Nolan Hickman.
Drew Timme returns.
Drew Timme returns for the 37th year. Welcome to the Y. I just feel like Gonzaga's not a physical team. I just don't think they're physical. And I don't trust teams that aren't physical. I think that's why they get in the tournament. It's like I said about Chet Holmgren. He was a really good player, but Arkansas bullied him. He made some good plays, but Arkansas bullied him. Now he goes in the NBA and gets hurt. I said Walker Kessler was going to be a better NBA player than Chet Holmgren. How's that looking right about now?
I mean, you always got to worry about Duke. They always got trees running around.
Yeah, of course you always worry about Duke, but Coach K not there anymore.
So Duke and Kansas play tonight.
Yeah, so does Kentucky and Michigan State.
Yes, exactly.
Kentucky's another
How you feel
team.
about UCLA right now? Return Tiger Campbell. They return the Jaquez kid. Johnny Juzang obviously not there anymore.
Yep.
How you feel about UCLA?
Look, Mick Cronin, to me, can absolutely do it as a head coach. If there's a couple guys I trust in college basketball to put a good team together that has a chance to do it, it's Mick Cronin. All he's done is won everywhere he goes. When you have an experienced point guard like that, you have a guy like Jaquez that's able to shoot, take it to the basket, plays pretty good defense. UCLA, I like their roster. I like their togetherness. I need to see the new group a little bit more, but I always trust a team with an old head at point guard like Tiger Campbell, who's been there, done that before, and don't sleep on Mick Cronin.
Is Emily still at Michigan?
Emily?
You talking about Hunter Dickinson?
Yeah. Emily.
Oh, Emily?
Is he? He's balling right now.
good.
Of course he is. He's been there 12 years.
43 years old.
He's so good. I'm interested to see the other pieces around him right now.
You know what? At what point did we just not even put eligibility in college anymore? Just let him stay. Hunter Dickinson, we got to come back for 9 years.
I still have a year. I'm just really leveraging my final year.
Yeah, you should. Look, you can come back.
NIL.
The fact that Sean McVay hasn't reached out to you is upsetting me.
Yeah, it's
It's
me
legit.
too.
We have a personal connection.
Y'all
Exactly.
To think that guy beat me in a state championship when he was a senior,
And
I
now
was a
John
sophomore.
Wofford's.
Wish we could have caught him.
John-
Wish we could have caught him in 05.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a name that somebody running from the FBI makes up.
That or he's an attorney. Call John Wofford.
That's actually
John Wofford and John Wofford with John Wofford.
Call John Wofford or Alexander Shannara.
You got in Alabama when you start hearing that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I have a few other things here for us. Obviously, 3 Virginia football players were killed
This
yesterday
is horrible.
in a shooting. It was Lavelle Davis Jr., Devin Chandler, and Deshaun Perry were shot by a former UVA football player. Really sad.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this yesterday. We wanted some more information to come out. Just praying for, obviously, the families involved, everybody involved in this. Head coach Tony Elliott put out a statement last night on social media. It's just an absolute tragic situation. Senseless. It's absolutely senseless. Now, they're looking at apparently this guy, some people had known he had a gun on campus. So there's some things going on. I think there was a pending investigation into something. I don't want to speak before it all comes to light. But the thing right now that is the most important is that, these families and that team and those young men and that university and everybody involved knows that the people are here for them. Just absolutely senseless and sickening. So to Tony Elliott and everybody out there, obviously you have our prayers and condolences.
Bad situation.
It was really a good sight to see that thousands of people on Virginia's campus all met up and sat in silence for all these guys.
Wow.
A lot of people, I'm talking about a lot of people, complete silence. It just shows, bad things don't have to happen for us to come together.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it that situation for us to finally come together. We're all in this together. Shout out to their families. Anything we can do to help, please reach out.
Yeah, and obviously the guys in custody, and I don't try and sit here and judge people on a high horse, but I hope you burn in hell, dog. I hope you burn in hell forever. And that's just the truth.
All right, moving on here to some Major League Baseball awards. Michael Harris II won the NL Rookie of the Year. Spencer Strider finished second. Braves 1 and 2 there in that award.
Future's
and then
bright.
Julio Rodriguez, AL Rookie of the Year.
Look, you look at the Mariners too with Logan Gilbert on the mound. Obviously, J-Rod. You talk about a guy that can do it all. So much fun to watch him play. Watching him in the home run derby was amazing. You talk about bat velocity and hand-eye coordination. But if you're the Atlanta Braves, you have 2 players fighting over Rookie of the Year. That's a good spot to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Soroka, hopefully going to be back.
Let's hope.
DeGrom. Come on, Alex. You know it. I know it. Let's get it done. No, it's congratulations to those guys. Michael Harris. To me right now, if I'm betting the next 5 years, give me Michael Harris over Acuna. Give me Michael Harris over Acuna Jr.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. I think he's going to end up being a better ball player. All right, Blano.
What's up?
Let's go to the Booster Club.
All right, let's go to Emmanuel C. Hashtag Ask Crane & Co. It says, how many more years do you give Tom Izzo coaching at Michigan State? Is it time for a fresh new face coaching at Michigan State for Breeze Brothers?
I think Tom's earned the right to be able to finish when he wants to finish. I mean, what he's done for that program. Tom Izzo is synonymous with Michigan State basketball when you think about it. And you look at how well they played against Gonzaga, led the whole game up until the end on the ship, which I think is such a cool thing that they do with the veterans and honoring them. But Tom Izzo is going to be able to pick not only when he leaves, but his successor as well, and he deserves that. He deserves the Coach K treatment for what he's meant to that university. And the young man, I'll never forget watching Tom Izzo, I forget which player it was, gotten in an argument with a coach or something and was walking back to the tunnel, like just walking to the game, and Tom Izzo ran all the way down there, got onto him, then loved him up, and got him back to where he was supposed to be. I think Tom Izzo is the rare breed of unbelievable schematic mind, unbelievable motivator, but also genuinely cares about his players. I think he genuinely cares about his players more than their ability to play basketball. And when you put that together, you get a career like Tom Izzo's had.
And he's 67.
67.
Nick Saban's
which is young nowadays.
70s,
which is young nowadays. 67's the new 47.
Got some years left on him.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to H. Wade. Says Blaine looks like a young Jim Hopper from Stranger Things. I'll take that.
Okay.
Hopper's probably, if not my favorite character. Y'all seen Stranger Things?
I saw half of the first season.
Don't ask me questions you already know the answer to.
What's going on with you?
Huh?
What do you watch? You watch the new Yellowstone?
Sports all day, every day.
Yellowstone?
How do you guys watch anything else? No, it just came out Sunday. I hadn't watched it yet.
No, I haven't watched the new Game of Thrones either.
Man, I heard the new Yellowstone season got bad reviews though.
Really?
Shocker.
From people's whose opinion
Shocker. A great show great show that they've let run too long.
Yeah.
For me, I'm 3 and out. I'm 3 seasons max.
Really?
5.
3 seasons.
Game of Thrones had a solid.
Wait 10 years.
Yeah.
Wait 10 years. Season 4. Like I thought Dexter did it perfect. Now there was too many seasons like before they kind of waited a little bit, but I'd go like 3 and just stop it. And you know what? Go 3, then wait and do it, or go 3 spinoff. Breaking Bad.
Yeah, you do a good 5.
But sometimes a TV show hadn't caught on until season 3.
Well, make it better.
I agree.
Right?
Make it better.
A solid 5 seasons.
Make it catch on quicker. Have better writing.
I'll do that.
This isn't hard.
Yes, sir.
This isn't a hard thing. All right, one more.
Let's go to Justin Decker. He says, Opelika didn't even make the playoffs this year. It's a time for a coaching change. Y'all trash.
First off,
what's going on
the
with you
playoffs
today?
every year?
What do you mean? What's going on with you? Watch Stranger Things.
Relax a little bit over there. Okay.
Coach Speakman is a good friend of mine. I think he's fine. It's pretty simple. I just need to go down there and talk to the team before next season.
Like a players-only meeting, but a former player comes?
Yes. Players-only meeting, but I played there, so I'm going to talk.
Okay.
I'm going to go in there. So we need to explain a little bit about what happens
Expectations.
if you don't make the playoffs.
Expectations.
Yeah. If you don't make the playoffs in Opelika, what happens? You're cast out forever. You want to get exiled? You want to get Napoleon? You want to get sent to Siberia? Don't make the playoffs. All right, don't make the playoffs. I don't think they let the seniors graduate if you don't make the playoffs.
Really?
I can't remember. I'd have to go back and find the name, but they said the U.S. soccer team's only like wearing those patches in U.S. facilities.
Okay. So that makes it way better.
Yeah. I don't know if that's exactly what that means.
Yeah, I don't really know what that means either. But I do know what this means. If you want to watch the rest of this, you can listen to it if you stay here. Head over to the Daily Wire Plus, become a member, or listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with all your friends and everybody else you know, because maybe y'all be friends. All right, as you know, here at the Daily Wire, we've got a huge fantasy battle going on, and it is coming down to the wire. All right, I beat Shapiro last time. He got me this time because Justin Fields freaked out. All right, Kyler Murray doesn't play. I had Kirk Cousins, who threw for 370 yards, but also 2 interceptions. Still sitting right now in 3rd place. You just got to make it to the Final Four. That's what it's about. You get in the Final Four. Derrick Henry, you rushed for like 60 yards, man. I didn't need that. I didn't need that, and I made a huge mistake, guys. A huge mistake. Now, did it cost me in the end?
Probably.
No. I played Adam Thielen instead of Deebo Samuel.
How did Deebo do?
I need to look at it. I'm afraid to look at it.
I don't think he did anything crazy.
Coney, Tell your
There it
result.
is. Big win right there over Michael Knowles. Final score was 166 to 104. I'm looking at the league standings here right now. I'm 5-5. I'm 5-5. Blaine, you're 5-5. My points scored are 1309.30. Your points scored 1309.12.
Are you serious?
We're right there.
And y'all, when do y'all play each other? Y'all play each
This
other
week.
This week?
Don't we play each other this week?
It's moving week. Let's see. Clavin, Blaine, read your result.
Hold on. No, I played.
No, sorry. I play Team Morning Wire.
Oh,
Yeah, let me read my result. Just an absolute disaster of every proportion that you can imagine. Everything that could have went wrong, went
Murphy's
wrong.
Law.
So let's go through it. It's tough to have good running backs on bad football teams. Saints, Alvin Kamara, bad football team. Dameon Pierce will get 1,000 yards, maybe never score a touchdown.
Najee Harris.
Right? Jalen played well. Cooper Kupp got hurt. Now he has a upper ankle injury and going to be sidelined for multiple weeks. So I'm done. I'm done. Keenan Allen, soft. Devontae Swift, soft. I drafted a bunch.
DeAndre Swift, soft.
I drafted a bunch of prima donnas. That's what I did, and it's showing. It's showing late in the season. And with Cooper Kupp gone, I don't know, guys.
Wait,
I don't know.
Well, is Cooper Kupp out?
Ankle, and someone close said it's not good. Cooper Kupp gets hurt on a 2-point performance in the fourth quarter with like Hillary Clinton's kid at quarterback.
Chelsea Clinton?
Chelsea?
All right, hey, this is a big one right here, though.
Look at this.
This is a big one right here. All right, the loser has to go to a WNBA game and sit courtside.
I might start
Right
throwing.
now, Team Morning Wire and Team Walsh are fighting it out for ugliest duckling. Team Morning Wire did beat Walsh, so right now, Matt Walsh, that guy is looking like he may have to go to a WNBA game. All right, which to me is both hilarious and delicious at the same time.
I might start throwing.
What are you talking about?
I might start.
It's too deep. You can't.
I might just turn it. I might turn into the Falcons and start throwing.
You're already
do
at
it.
like 5-5.
You might
Like,
be
he's at
playing for a
2-8.
WNBA
I
team.
might start.
It's impossible.
I can't do it without Cooper Kupp. DeAndre Hopkins got to. Cole
You got to
played
go in
okay.
there and do some research, man. You got to
Get some research. What do you mean? I've been on the phone with John Brinkins the last 3 days, trying to find the guys. What can I fix, John? Tell me how to fix it. There's only one option
out there for you.
There's only one option.
Here's what you do.
You got to give him steroids.
What do you want for Adam Thielen? What?
$30? Like, I don't.
Well, okay. You
I
can't
don't
play
need
Cooper Kupp.
receivers.
Then why
I
are you
need
complaining
backs.
about Cooper Kupp?
Because Cooper Kupp's different. He's a walking 30-piece.
Not anymore.
The White Witch.
He's a hobbling
I'll trade
zero
you.
piece right now.
I'll trade you Josh Jacobs for. Is Cooper Kupp out for the year?
Get out.
I'll trade you Josh Jacobs for Cooper Kupp.
I'll trade you Devontae Smith for Josh Jacobs.
Tony
Devontae
Pollard.
Smith, the guy I drafted, who had 0 catches in the first game.
Oh,
Oh, I
And
think
then you
trade
picked him up
deadline's
later.
today. I think the trade deadline's saying the league, so
for
you better
fantasy?
get it
Is
in.
a trade deadline?
Yeah,
Our
you
trade
better get it
deadline?
in. Yeah, you better get it
Have you
in.
talked to the commish?
Huh? It popped up on the sleeper app today.
Nuh-uh.
I swear. Go to home real quick, Cone. Go to home. Going home, y'all.
Austin Eckler, Cone.
Does it say anything about?
What
I
want for
saw it
Austin
this
Eckler?
morning.
I'll give you Cooper Kupp for Eckler.
Oh, would you? You will.
What about Tony Pollard? Does that tickle your? Yeah, it's fucking.
No.
What was the trade you got offered again from Michael?
Davey sent me Darren Waller, who I dropped, who was on IR for DeAndre Hopkins.
Trying to pull a fast one.
I was like, I'm not. Now I'm disrespected.
While they get ready to throw the Booster Club leaderboard up there, let's
Yeah, let's go to Squeeze Liberal. All right, $5 donation.
Thank you,
Says,
brother.
Ole Miss has worn a different uniform to every game. All of them are fire. Can we get y'all's top uniforms in the game? Look, the powder blue.
The powder blues go the hard. I would say the powder blues, Oregon State, all blacks,
black.
go really, really hard.
What else go?
I tell you what, man, I like Louisville's uniforms.
Black and red.
Yeah, like it's a good look. I don't like the baseball ones, the all black and baseball. Just I don't like it.
It's too hot.
It's too hot for that, and you play on turf.
I thought the Tennessee gunmetal grays were really cool too.
They are
when they
cool.
won that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the Michigan all blues now are really cool. We never wore that.
Look.
We always wore maize pants.
Auburn's stormtroopers are fire.
The stormtroopers are, but I tell you another one, Tulane. Those are
The
sweet. Powder blues with that green, or the baby blues with that green, is a really, really good look. Really, really good look.
I'm trying to think. There were some other ones I saw.
There's a bunch. USC's old school is really nice.
God, there was a game I was watching the other day. The jerseys were just awesome. Can't remember now.
All right, let's go to J Chain. Hashtag Ask Blaine. Opinion on Umbrella Academy. Good. Umbrella Academy. The new season's really good too. Let's go to Travis. Hashtag Ask Crandon Company. Is Kelvin Sampson going to be stolen from Houston by another program? Or is he staying there because they're going to the Big 12?
Yeah, no, I think Kelvin's at Houston. I think he loves where he's at. I think it's a great fit too.
Oh, also to your question about what am I watching these days? It's only Sing 2. It's only Sing 2. On the House, repeat. That's all Adam will watch.
That's all I watch?
Yeah.
What is Sing? Is that a bird movie?
That's
Sing 2
an
is a
animated
little
Netflix
cartoon
movie,
with
right?
Matthew McConaughey as the voice of the koala.
Oh, okay. Animal movie.
I can quote it by heart. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm going to be honest with you. That Madagascar movie, the penguins are hilarious to me.
Look, you want to watch something funny? There's a Penguins movie. I forgot what it's called, but it's just them 5. It's hilarious. Like, what's the name? Kowalski.
Yeah,
it's low key fun.
Like, I'm a grown man.
Five penguins. That's the whole movie.
It's in Happy Feet, Cone. Like, this is a comedy, man.
No. What did he say? You said there's only 5 of them.
They're
Five
like
what?
a little
little unit.
little squad. They're like a little squad of penguins. That
It's
go
an
around
animated movie.
Yes, and they're like,
I'll watch it.
Dude, you'll like it. I think I know Adam will like it.
Boom.
I'm trying to find who said this on here, but said Cone just stays at home and reads books about submarines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know more about them now.
Yeah.
That's good.
You
We're
know
learning
who else reads
things.
books about submarines?
Dylan Hammock says we all knew Cone was a 72-year-old trapped inside his body. He's not watching anything on Netflix.
Yeah.
I did
Watch
watch
him on the TV machine.
I did watch. I turned on Netflix for the first time in a long time yesterday to watch Killer Sally.
How crazy is that?
Watch the first episode.
Yeah. Just wait.
Crazy.
Buckle up.
JJ says, what is the best series currently? All my shows ended or about to end. His show was Walking Dead.
Peripheral.
Never was a Walking Dead.
Peripheral on Prime.
How do you not get away from them?
Watch the Peripheral.
Let's be honest. That's how they like.
Go to an island.
World War Z, I get it. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
If they're moving like that, we're all in trouble.
Go to an island.
But like, we can't figure this out. They're just walking around.
Go to an island. Like that Walking
Was
Dead,
it
like mine, it would have lasted one
I don't know what
episode.
Peripheral is.
Oh no, it's Walking Dead. Oh, I'm on an island. It's
I
not
need this
Swimming
Yellowstone season to go hard though. This first episode they said is not great. I need them to pick it up.
Dead. Dude, the Peripheral goes super duper hard.
What is that? HBO?
So Prime.
Super duper hard. What's y'all's go-to Christmas movies?
Die
Bro,
Hard.
I'm about to put out a poll actually.
Die Hard and
I'm gonna
Elf.
put out a Twitter poll asking people what should be the first Christmas movie of the season.
I'm
that I
going.
watch.
Hey, by the way,
Fred Claus is
Ooh,
going to be
that's
on
a good
there.
one. Vince Vaughn.
Fred Claus is going to be
Four
on there.
Christmases, really.
Home Alone's going to be on there. All right. Four Christmas is funny. That is funny. Elf will probably be on there.
God,
and maybe
that's
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Those
Just
four.
Friends seems to be on there too.
Just Friends
Friends?
is hilarious with Ryan Reynolds.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Have you seen that?
Movie.
Yes, I don't remember that being a
You remember?
Christmas movie.
Remember?
Well, it's a
Yeah, it's during Christmas. Remember, he was like the super fat kid in high school with braces that was like super soft.
Yes.
dude.
Yes.
Him and his brother,
And what's that girl's name? Anna Faris.
Anna Faris. She's fun.
Actually funny.
She's
the girls
funny.
in
Wait,
scary
in Just
movies.
Friends?
Yes.
Not the main girl. She's not the main girl.
Ryan Reynolds' girlfriend.
Huh?
So no, she's not the main, but she's Ryan Reynolds.
Anna Faris is the main female character. She's the singer.
No, she's.
Oh
not.
no, the other.
no,
It's
okay.
the girlfriend.
It's,
of,
yes,
not
she's
the
the
girl
annoying
Ryan
one.
Reynolds.
Isn't it
wants
the
to
girl
be.
from
Yeah.
She's the annoying one.
Amy Smart? Amy Smart.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Justin.
The girl
Decker.
from Road Trip.
And
Hashtag
from
ask,
Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, the girl from Road Trip.
hashtag ask the show, guys. I've lost a 5 and 7 game parlay, 2 games in a row because of 1 game each week.
Ugh,
Guarantee is your last
that's how it
leg.
happens.
Sue says, "Damn you, Liberty."
Yeah.
So give me a good winning 5-game parlay this weekend.
Put it up. Pull up DraftKings. Pull it up real quick. I ought to just ask Reed. She hit a 10-game parlay for $1,200 this weekend. I was like, I'm so glad I'm marrying you. I'm in love forever. Just go through some, Blaine.
Okay, I'm on ESPN.
Yeah, I
can't
am
pull up
too.
DraftKings.
Okay.
So let's go. Would you bet on Navy USF?
Maybe what's the over-under?
The over/under for this game.
No, just get away from that. That's gross.
It's 53.
I'm not doing
Spread
triple
60.5. UCF is a lot of points. Michigan, Illinois.
Yeah, here's the ranked ones. Oh.
Minus 18 Michigan.
And it's at Illinois.
Over/under 43. It's at Michigan.
Oh, it's at Michigan?
Yeah.
Over under 43. Don't like it.
Yeah, Tennessee, South Carolina.
What's that at?
That's minus 22 Tennessee.
And that's at Tennessee?
No, it's at South Carolina.
Fix this.
What's the over under?
66.
Give me the over.
You got Florida, Vanderbilt. Florida on the road at Vandy, minus 14.
What's the over-under?
57.5.
Don't touch it.
God, I'd like Florida by a point down, get it 13.5.
Yep, I like that too. TCU at Baylor. TCU's minus 2.5 right now.
No, give me TCU minus
Over
2.5.
under 58.
Yeah, give me TCU minus 2.5 right now.
Boston College plus 860 against Notre Dame.
What's the over-under in that game?
Like 11. 44.5.
Give me a couple more.
Miami's at Clemson minus 19.
You got to take Clemson. Miami's terrible.
Got to take them.
They're bad.
Ohio State minus 27.5 against Maryland on the road. I like Maryland in that.
Dude, buy that to
Do you?
28.5.
Maryland
Why would you not
just
buy
got
it up to
killed.
28.5?
I don't know. I took them against Wisconsin on the road and they got murdered.
What about Tennessee, South Carolina? Tennessee's a 21.5
just did
point
that. I said
favorite.
take the over 66.
Arkansas, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is a 2.5 point
Is
favorite.
that at home?
It's at the Hogs.
I like Ole Miss in that game.
How about Kansas State on the road at West Virginia minus 7.5?
What's the over-under in that one?
55.
Give me West Virginia plus 7.5.
UCLA
Really?
USC over under is 75.5.
It'll hit.
That's so many.
It'll hit. What's
Which
the
one
Western
is?
Kentucky Auburn spread? Well, that's a very, very like sandwich, good team matchup in Western Kentucky.
What time they play?
I think that game will be at night.
Oh, here it is. All right, Auburn's minus 5.5.
God, we suck.
What's the over-under?
The over-under is 52.5.
Oh, pound the over. Pound the over as hard as you possibly can. Get Thor's hammer and pound it. All right, people that have been pounding the over. Johnson TC is 4-0. J_Cobb Brown's 3-0. JT Bryan's 3-0. Kyle Jenkins is 2-0. JJJJ BBB 2345 is 1-0. Ulrich Sharber, EJ Runis, and Cone's Highwater Pants are all 1-0. Revco 250 back down to 0. 0-0, and Cody Nason. Tough loss last night. The Graphic King, or the King of Getting Graphic, depending on what precinct you live in. All right, bets tonight. Give me this. Toledo. Right, I want to say this as well. I'm getting punished for last month, okay? I get it. I get it.
Long way to go, man.
No, I get it.
Long way
Getting
to
punished
go,
for that.
dude.
Have a great month. It's my birthday month. Giveth, he taketh away. So tonight, let's just see. Who knows? Toledo money line, Ball State +4. Now, guys, Ball State 5-5, trying to get bowl eligible. Ohio, who they're playing, already wrapped up their division in the MAC. Already bowl eligible. Ball State's got to fight for it. It's supposed to be snowy, wintry mixture. Carson Steele, running back, not superhero, but maybe has a pet alligator. So give me that. That's Toledo money line. I'll never bet on Bowling Green anything again, and I blame you and Scott Leffler. So give me Ball State +4. That's coming in at +114. Then I'm going to take my first college basketball bet of the year. All right? Vandy, who looks like absolute hot dog water right now. Jerry Stackhouse can't blame racism on this one. And then Temple, give me that game under 136.5. Temple with a huge win over Villanova after losing to Wagner. Welcome to college basketball. Under 136.5. I want it ugly, I want it slow, and I don't want a lot of free throws. That's -120. Can we make a comeback? Probably not. All right, David, what do you got?
I'm going to make my first college basketball pick of the year, too. If I'm going to take North Carolina to win it all, I might as well take a -20.5 tonight. That's -110 on the odds. And then I want a little double game parlay here with Toledo money line and Ohio money line. That's the Bobcats in this scenario, not the Buckeyes, and that's at -137.
Bonnier,
Yes.
need your bets.
Who's North Carolina playing? Oh,
Gardner Webb, I believe.
don't get caught up in it. All right, give me Ohio -2.5 for the first half, and the under in this game at 53.5. That's going off at +200. Just need to be Ohio to be up by a field goal. I really do feel good about that under, because it will be snowy and nasty at that game. Give me Toledo -15.5, because Bowling Green is terrible. Their offense, anemic. Their defense, bad. Not a great situation down there for Scotty left.
Yeah, McDonald, the quarterback, needs to go back to the farm. That dude couldn't throw a fit.
Somehow 23-21 this month after going 1-5 on a Sunday. So I just need a weekend. I just need 2 days, man. One time. Can I put it together? I'm really, I'm Texas this year. One side plays good. The other one plays bad. Can we just put a weekend together?
Some complimentary
it's like
football.
A circle day.
All right, Baby Cone's going to go Duke money line. They're taking on, who's Duke playing again tonight?
Kansas.
Blue blood battle. He's taking Duke money line plus 100. He's going to take Alabama minus 12, going to play the South Alabama Jags. You think you're just going to walk down in there into Mobile and pull off a 13-point victory against Coach Richie and the Jags? I don't know. He is a baby.
It's a baby.
All right, make sure you're following us on all social media. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. Really appreciate you guys. Keep spreading the word. Some big-time games coming up this week. We got football, basketball, hockey, soon-to-be World Cup soccer, which we're going to talk about. As much as Cone doesn't, we're going to talk about.
We're not.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it because I believe. All right, I'll carry the torch.
believe.
I know. That's what I was trying to do earlier, and you didn't go with me.
I believe we won't talk about it. I believe. Oh,
Wait, did you put out a poll today?
I did. I was going to get to it.
I'm going to Paul Revere this thing. I'll Paul Revere this.
Okay.
I'll Paul Revere it. That's fine.
All right. Well, Paul Revere's his poll.
Okay.
Will Lane Kiffin be the next coach at Auburn? Yes or no?
Yes, 53%.
That's your final answer.
Yes.
Put your phone down. Lock it in.
I'm going to say, you said 53%?
Mm-hmm.
No, you didn't.
Yes.
I'm going to say yes, 60%.
Whoa.
Y'all really haven't been finger on the pulse with the Booster Club this week and a little bit of last week. I need better from y'all. Yes, 48%.
Okay. Well, what are you talking about? I said 53%.
You said yes, 53%. No,
Yeah.
David.
That means I was
It's
off
no.
by. It was
I knew
no
the
by
answer.
what? It was no by what?
5.
It was 55?
54?
54. Okay, so I was off by 7
that's
points.
not bad.
So this guy. I'm within the margin of error, and this guy's over here talking about I don't have my
Little
finger
things
on
and
the pulse.
details. You want to go to the playoffs? Do you want to win a championship?
Lane thinks he's Trafalgar. All right, appreciate you guys. Make sure, like I said, you're following us on all social media. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you same time in the morning as well. And like the chances of me coming back and winning this month and betting, yeah, we're gone.